sole mio, la 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 la, la 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 la. Ecco sono mio.
The Big Red One was written and directed by Samuel L. Fuller, starring Lee Marvin, Mark Hamill, Robert Carradine, Bobby DeCicco, and Sigrid Rauch. Now its director, Samuel Fuller, was a World War II veteran who served with the 1st Infantry Division, nicknamed, drumroll, the Big Red One. Wow. This film was a semi-autobiographical work based on Sam's experiences as a soldier in the war. This follows the account of his half of World War II, and unlike more traditional war films, this acted more like a collection of short stories. Like one moment they'll be in Africa in a huge firefight, and the next moment helping a lady give birth in a tank.
Pussy! Pussy! Pussy!
Due to studio tampering, there were hours of footage that Samuel was forced to cut from the film. He originally intended to one day reclaim the unused footage and make a second version that would be closer to his original idea, but then he died. In 2004, film critic Richard Schickel reconstructed the film. Using Fuller's production notes and a full-length unexpurgated script, Schickel restored the footage that was forced to be cut by the studio upon its original release, creating the restored version of the Big Red One. But for this video, I'll be reviewing the original theatrical cut that came out in 1980. The movie begins on the last day of World War I. It follows Marvin Lee's character, the sergeant, who is approached by a German soldier trying to surrender, but he stabs him, and is later told by his commander that the war had ended 4 hours before. This is one of the first themes that the film presents: humanity. Sergeant is remorseful and will remain haunted by his actions, indicating his underlying humanity and compassion. This theme is revisited a couple of times, but was repeated later at the end of the film especially.
Son of a bitch. You're gonna live if I have to blow your brains out.
Fast forward 24 years later, and the sergeant now leads his squad into Operation Torch, the invasion of French North Africa. During the invasion, Griff, played by Mark Hamill, is clearly distressed and too scared to fire a shot. This leads to another theme of the film: Griff's inability to kill. Luckily, they are able to overpower the French and later hug it out like real men. After the invasion, Griff talks with Sergeant about his struggles to blast someone's head off, of which the Sergeant replies,
We don't murder, we kill.
It's the same thing.
The hell it is, Griff. You don't murder animals, you kill them.
We are then pleasantly introduced to the Sergeant's German counterpart, Schrader.
Schroeder used to be tough. In Libya, I saw him murder a German officer.
I didn't murder him, Gert. I killed him when he ran from a fight with the British.
Murder. Killed. It's the same thing.
We don't murder the enemy, we kill.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
He kind of just appears wherever the squad goes. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say about him for now. We then jump to the Battle of Kasserine Pass, where the boys bury themselves to survive. Now originally, I thought they were screaming because their heads were getting crushed, but Sam actually said himself, and I quote, "When we were in those holes and the tanks were rolling over us, it was our only chance to scream out all the terror and not be heard. We got it all out in those holes," end quote. Anyways, Griff panics and runs out, and the whole squad starts scrambling. During the chaos, Sergeant gets shot, and we see him wake up in a hospital with no idea what happened to his squad. He's lost, alone, sad, old, gray hairs, wrinkly, musty, and then like 4 seconds later he reunites with his squad.
Hey, here it is. I found it.
Oh my God!
Just one of your balls, Smitty. You can live without it. That's why they gave you two.
Throughout the film, Sergeant is shown to have a strong relationship with children. He shares his food to a kid in North Africa, helps the boy find a proper spot to bury his dead mom, in Sicily receives flowers and his helmet from a little girl, and offers support to the little boy found in the concentration camp, which I'll get into later. These scenes help show more of the human side of Sergeant, who commonly portrays himself as cold, especially towards his soldiers. From Sicily to Normandy, the film jumps from Omaha Beach D-Day. the boys look absolutely miserable. The lack of music and the sounds of pure carnage really help add to the scene's feeling of dread. Meanwhile, Sergeant sends out men to get a Bangalore torpedo over to a wall to create an exit. However, with no cover fire, the rest watch while the replacements die over and over again, with each man just barely able to move the torpedo over. It's Griff's turn next, and midway through the field he chickens out and plays dead. With some tough love from Sergeant, Griff is able to successfully explode the wall and the squad is able to push forward. In the next scene, the boys head to a concentration camp in Czechoslovakia. There's gunshots everywhere. During all the action, Griff discovers a Nazi soldier hiding in an oven, and Griff unloads an entire clip into him in a very powerful scene. Hooray! He's no longer afraid to kill someone! After liberating the concentration camp, Sergeant befriends one of the captive Jewish children and carries him on a soldier until he dies. Shortly after this, the story comes full circle again when Sergeant is alone in a dark forest. Suddenly, Schrader approaches him, ready to surrender. He is clearly unarmed with his hands in the air, but Sergeant still knifes him. And just like the beginning of the film, Sergeant is told that the war had ended 4 hours ago. This time, however, Sarge makes amends for a senseless murder in World War I by working feverishly to save the life of Schrader. In my opinion, I thought the film was muy goodo. I really liked the color grading and the way that the movie was shot. Griff's last scene where he injected a whole clip into the soldier was executed very well in my opinion. The scene is uncomfortably long, but really allows for a lot of breathing room to digest like what exactly is going on. I really enjoyed the characters and their relationship, especially the core squad. And like I would really be interested to see like what was Sam's like original like full idea for the film. I'd really like to see how that would have turned out. Because of course, you know, he died. But other than that, yeah, it was really good. I liked it. I'm feeling a decent to strong 7 on this one. Transition, have you gave this movie a watch? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. Please like and subscribe, and please don't cry. Want any testicle channel? Call of Duty, the big red one. Forever.